Hey guys, so before I begin my tutorial, I just would like to let you guys know that this video was requested by two YouTubers, and their name is Happy to Scrap My 2 and Ink That Card. And this video is going to be showing you two types of envelopes to use for snail mail, as well as a template or a tutorial on how you can make your own template for the mini envelopes. So just also a little FYI, I will put down in the description box each where you can stop in the video or start on the video to see the the specific type of envelope that you're looking for, so that way you don't have to watch this whole video, because this video is pretty long, so I do apologize. The last envelope took a little bit of time, but for those of you that need a template, the last part will be the one where you can learn how to do that. So again, check out my description box before watching the video if you're here for a specific envelope, because I don't want you guys to be watching this whole thing. So yep, stay tuned, and thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Hey guys, so today I'm going to be doing an envelope tutorial. I'm going to show you guys how to make these mini ones for pocket letters. These will fit in those baseball card holders that people send to their pen pals. So I'm going to be showing you how to make this one with the envelope punch board, as well as the box envelope. I'm going to be using just the regular envelope punch board because not everybody has the 1, 2, 3 punch board. So I gave this one a try, and I got it for with my first try. So it's very easy, as well as this one. And I will point out the measurements as I'm going throughout the video. The last one I'm going to show you is actually going to be a template that you can make because not everybody has an envelope punch board. You can most definitely get some online, but you'd have to resize it. Making the template takes a little bit longer, but it's totally worth it because once you have the template, you can keep this and just trace it onto any pattern paper you'd like and use this. So this is how it looks, and this is how one with the punch board looks. As you can see, my measurements here, so they look exactly alike. Sorry for the late post. I know I told the one that asked me to make this tutorial, I told her that I'd have it done or out by tonight. I'm recording it late at night, so I'm not sure if I'm going to get it uploaded. Probably the next day. So sorry for the late upload. I just totally got really busy and then didn't have much time. So enough chattering. I'm going to go ahead and get started. A couple of things that you're going to need is a ruler. I have a centering ruler as well as a T-squared ruler. I'm just going to use this part of the ruler, so that way those of you that don't have a centering ruler or a regular ruler, I could show you guys how to use a regular ruler. I need some papers. It doesn't have to be what I'm using. I'm using this just to show you guys. So I'm using plain white cardstock. This you might want to use for your template. You can use printer paper, but I suggest cardstock because then it'll last a bit longer. A 12 by 12 sheet of pattern paper, because you're going to need something a little bit bigger, or not, you can, yeah, you're going to need something a little bit bigger than 8.5 by 11, so I suggest a 12 by 12. And then just using some 6 by 6 double-sided. Doesn't have to be so double-sided, but I thought it'd be cute to just make a small envelope that's double-sided. This is optional. I'm going to use it to score some lines, but you can use your paper trimmer with a bone folder, or if you have a scoring blade, most definitely use that as well. Two main tools for the first two envelopes are going to be the punch boards. I'm going to show you guys the difference between the two punch boards really fast. So I'm just going to show you this because this is the one that we're going to be making. This is the small one that fits into the, what are those? The playing card holders. So it's 2 by 3.5. As you can see, the paper size is 5 by 5 and your score line is at 2 inches. Well, that's on the regular envelope punch board. Here for the 2 by 3.5, it's 5 and 1/8, and then your punch card is at 2. So there is a bit of a difference in the sizes. So the one that I made recently was 5 by 7. The paper size is 9 7/8. For this 5 by 7, you need a 9.5 by 9.5 inch square. I'm going to go with these measurements from here, but I'm going to be using this punch board, and I'll show you exactly how you can make the box using this one here. So we'll get started with that one. So first take out the bone folder. You're going to use your 12 by 12. And I'm just going to trim this down to measure 9 7/8. Remember, this is a 5 by 7, and here it says 9.5. Don't worry about the 9.5. You want to make it 9 7/8. So I'm going to use my trim here. Oops, sorry. 9 7/8. Okay, so here is our 9 7/8 square. So I'm going to again use my punch board. Okay, so again, I'm not going by the measurements here. So for the 5 by 7, the paper size is 9 7/8. Instead of scoring your line at 4 inches, you're going to score at 4 1/8. So I'm going to bring it here and punch, score, and it's okay if it doesn't reach all the way because this is just going to punch it. You line up the score line with the little tab. I'm pretty sure you guys know that own this. I have a tutorial on how to use this in a past video, so you can go ahead and check that out. And I'm not going to run the quarters for the sake of video, so okay. So that's all you're going to need with the punch board. Okay, so now you have your regular envelope. Well, what you're going to do is take your ruler and you want to measure 3/8, or you can even line up this line here to this line here and score it. So I'm going to take my scoring tool. And I think it'd be a lot better. I was going to not measure to save time, but it's going to bother me. So I'm going to take a pencil and my ruler. Okay, and I'm going to measure 3/8 of an inch from, you can see. Okay, so from this line here, I'm just going to put the 3/8 inch on that line. And then I'm just going to mark that with my ruler, or my pencil. And you can connect the lines if you'd like, but you really don't need to. And so you're going to do that all the way around. Again, line it up with, or sorry, doing the opposite way. Line up the 3/8 inch on the score line that you made and draw a line. And this one, because it's a little short, I'm just gonna connect them. And I'm just going to zoom out. The width, or yeah, the difference between the first score line and the second score line is up to you, depending on how thick you want your box to be. 3/8 of an inch is a good size, even 5/8 of an inch. This here is about 1/2 an inch. So the best one would probably be about, yeah, 3/8. Because I don't think 5/8 will fit on there. So you can do 3/8 or 1/2 an inch, up to you, or in between. So I'm just going to go ahead and quickly measure these. Okay, so I keep messing up. And for those of you that don't know where 3/8 of an inch is, I'm pretty sure you guys do, but for those of you that don't, 3/8 of an inch is the next largest line before the 1/2 inch. Okay, so you're just going to line up the first line and the second line, or just the line itself, with the scoring board, and you're just going to score it. So I already did all 4 of those. I'm just going to go ahead and put it this away, so that's it for now for this. And I'm just going to fold all my lines and my creases. You can use a bone folder to crisp up the edges, but other than that, that is the envelope, and it gives you enough space to adhere it if you want. So as you can see, it overlaps here, and you can adhere it there, and you got yourself a box. So that is making the envelope box with the We Are Memory Keepers envelope punch board, and that's not the 1, 2, 3 punch board, but we are going by the measurements. So that is that. Next, I'm going to make the small envelope. So I'm going to trim this one down. To 5 by 5. So I'm just, because I know this is a 6 by 6, I'm just going to trim off this edge here. Okay, so now we're going to take the punch board and with this it says score is at 2. So you're going to line it up at 2 inches. Punch. Score. Line it up. Alright. It was seriously that simple. That's why it's so good to have one of these. They do get very pricey, but if you use a coupon, it's totally worth it. Super fast. You can round the corners of this, and you'll have the mini envelope. So again, I'm going to slowly, because I did go fast, you're going to have a 5 by 5 square piece of pattern paper cardstock. Then what you're going to do is you're going to line it up at the 2 inch mark. You're going to punch it score it, rotate it. You don't have to measure at 2 inches again, but you just line up the score line with this edge here, and then you punch it and score it, and you do that throughout the whole thing. So the only time you're measuring at 2 inches is for the first punch that you're going to do. So that is for this small envelope, and that is it for the envelope punch board. So the next one is going to take a little bit longer, so I am so sorry, you guys, for all of the measurements I'm going to tell you, but I'm telling you it's going to be worth it, because then you're going to be able to have your own template, especially for those that just want to know how to make these small ones. So I wrote down the measurements in one of the envelopes that I had. And this is the one that I made, so here's a template that you could use. So I'm going to use a plain piece of white cardstock. Nothing special. So you're going to want to measure. The way that I did it was so that way I can at least know I have enough space to make this, was to measure the center of the 8.5 here, or the 8.5 by 11. So I'm going to measure at 4 1/4 and 5.5 really fast. So this is when your ruler will come to play. So I'm just going to go ahead and measure. Hopefully you guys can see this. Yeah, because I want to try to get all this paper, and I was going to zoom in, but it's okay. So and I highly recommend this T-square ruler. It helps with making straight lines because it lines up with the top page here, and then you can easily make a straight line. So this is a good tool to have as well, and it's very inexpensive. Alright, you guys, so here it is. Now you have a center. So in order to make, we want to start off with this rectangle in the center. So the rectangle in the center measures 2 3/8 by 3.5. You're going to use this center guideline as the center for your 3.5 to make this even. So sorry, I'm going to go slow here. So half of 3.5 is 1 3/4. So you want to line up this center line going down the 4 1/4 mark at the 1 3/4 inch. Once you do that, you're gonna mark where 3.5 is and mark where 1 is. And we're gonna go ahead and make a line from there. So again, we're making our 3.5 by 2 3/8 rectangle right now, just so we know where the center of our envelope is. So I measured using the centerpiece. I put the center of the 3.5, which is 1 3/4, lined the 1 3/4 up with this center piece here, marked 3.5 because that's how long this is going to be, and then just 1. So now this is 3.5 here. So next we have to get our 2 3/8 going to the top. So you will have enough to have your rectangle plus the flap on top. So I'm going to go ahead and flip it this way. Take your ruler and you're going to, so you're going to take your ruler, you're going to line it up and line up 1 here, or 0, sorry, I keep saying 1. Line up 0 there, and you're going to go up to 2 3/8 of an inch. And then you're going to make another line. So again, from the 5.5 inch line, you're going to go up to 2 3/8. So now this is your rectangle here. So now this is the center. All this. So this here measures 2 3/8, sorry for the messy handwriting, by 3 1/2. Wait, that's not a half, that's 3/2. 3 1/2. Okay. Okay, so 2 3/8 by 3 1/2. Alright, so next all we have to do is make our flaps, which are these two up here and these to the side. For the top, it measures 2 1/4. So what you want to do is you want to measure from this top line up here, you're going to measure 2 1/4. So again, line up 0 at this top part here, and measure up 2 1/4. And that's the first largest line on your ruler after the 2-inch mark. And again, you're going to flip this over, line up 0, and I keep getting confused. You don't want to line it up with the 5 1/2 inch mark. You want to line it up again with this one up here. Just kidding, I lied. This is your center. I even shaded it. I'm so lost. Okay. Forget what I said. So, the 5 1/2 inch line, you're going to measure down to 2 1/4. So you're going to line up 0 to the 5 1/2 inch line, and you're going to go down to 2 1/4. That is, for some reason I'm lost. And 1/4. Okay, and then you're going to make your line. Okay, next we're going to have to do the sides. The sides here measure 1 5/8. So, you want to take your ruler, line up the 0 here on the furthest right line here. So the furthest right line, you're going to line up the 0, and you're going to measure 1 5/8. The 5/8 line is the next biggest line after the 1/2 inch mark. And you're going to make a line. And this line I just make the same height. So 2 3/8, I just mark it up to this point. So it's not too confusing with the long lines here. Again, you're going to line up the 0 with the furthest. Okay, so if it's facing this way, it's the furthest line to the left. You're going to measure 2 3/8. So you're going to line up 0 and measure, or sorry, not 2 3/8, but 1 5/8. Again, 1 5/8 is the next biggest line after the 1/2 mark. And then you're going to make your line. Just like that. Okay, so this is what it looks like so far. Okay. So what I want to do to make it look more like an envelope and not just a bunch of rectangles everywhere, I want to start measuring the centers of my flaps, so that way I can make these pieces here. So 1/2 of 2 3/8, again this line here measures 2 3/8. 1/2 of 2 3/8 equals 1 3/16. 16 sometimes gets very confusing, so I'm going to show you here. So, okay, I think I'm going to need to, let's see, I need something black. Okay. Quickly show you, this is the 1 inch. This whole thing here is 16 lines. So you just count 1, 2, 3. So 3/16 is the third line from 1. So 1, 2, 3, and that's 3/16. So say if someone were to say 1 13/16, you would count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that's 1 and 13 sixteenths right there. Because once you get to 16 lines, that's 2 inches, and then it starts all over, 2 and 1/16, and then so on. So that's how that works. So 5/8 is going to be these lines here. So you have 1/8, that's 2, 3/8, 3, 4, 5/8, so on. Sorry if that sounds a bit confusing. So I'm going to go ahead and measure my center. So I'm going to line it up. So we have 4 lines here. Sorry. We have 4 lines here. I'm going to zoom in for you guys so you can see it. To get the centerpiece, I'm going to line it up with the second line here. Again, 0. And I'm going to measure at 1 and 3/16. If you don't feel comfortable just making a straight line from this side and this side, go ahead and measure again 1 and 3/16 on this side. But I have the T-square ruler, and so that way this video is not too long, I'm just going to make a straight line. And again, you just need it within this piece here, these inner parts. And then next we have our longer, top and bottom pieces. So this measures 3.5. I'm gonna measure the center. Oh, it's actually done for you. Because we made the center line at 4 1/4, the center piece is this line here, so we don't have to make a center anymore. So that is done. Next, I'm going to measure. Okay, this is the last measurement, but in order for us to make it look like an envelope, I'll show you the one that I did here. This is my template. In order for us to make it look like an envelope, we need a straight line going up here. So what I did was I measured 3/8 of an inch. So we're going to take our paper and we're going to measure from, this is our, again, the shaded part is the center of the envelope. So I'm going to start from this line here, and I'm going to measure to the side 3/8 of an inch. So you want to mark, you can either line up your 0 on the line, or you can line up 3/8 of an inch on the line and make a mark. So for this one, I'm just going to tick it. So I have 2 tick marks. Again, here you're going to do 3/8 of an inch on this side as well. My pencil is dying on me. I don't want to sharpen it. Oops. Oh my goodness, okay. Okay. So this is what we have now. Next, I'm going to start making some triangles. So taking our 3/8 tick mark, I'm going to line that up with the centerpiece here and make a line. Again, take my 3/8, meet it up with the center, make a line, and then you get your triangle. or not triangle, but yeah, your triangle. So I kind of took the wrong mark there. Go ahead and erase that so it's not confusing. Okay. And don't mind the gap that you're going to have in between here. So you're going to take, for the bigger piece, take your 3/8 inch mark, line it up the center, and make your triangles. And you know what? I did this the opposite way. The 3/8 is supposed to be from the bottom. So I'm just going to fix that really fast. I hope that's 3/8. So you're going to line that up. Okay, so now you guys can kind of see it forming. All that's left is for you to darken this spot. It's kind of messy, but once you darken this up, you'll start seeing the envelope. Zoom out here because I'm going to cut this out. So now you could see it forming. I'm going to take my scissors, and you're just going to cut out this rectangle here. So I usually start off by trimming the rectangle out first. And I don't think I mentioned that it's optional, but you can have a corner rounder if you have one, or you can just hand cut some rounded corners. So now I have my square cut out. I'm going to trim out these pieces. You can make them square or you can round them. I like to round mine to match my points. Sorry, I totally got too into this. So, and then you're going to take your corner punch, which I don't have. Oh, it's right here. Just going to take it and just going to punch out my corners. Oh, okay, kind of red. Okay. You can either just fold your lines or fold this. I'm going to use my punch board because I'm crazy and I like to take sorry about that. Okay, so anyways, again, I'm just using my scoreboard by Martha Stewart, oops, kind of pushed in there too hard, to crease my lines. And I'm gonna put that back. Fold these in, and we are almost done. Well, we're pretty much done. So all you have to do is glue these down, and then you got yourself an envelope. And you can use this as a template. Like I said, you can just easily trace this. You can take a piece of pattern paper, trace this, cut it out, and then just fold it up, and you easily have a small envelope. So, I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I'm sorry for the long video. I'll make sure to put down in the description box like where each envelope starts, so that way you guys don't have to watch the whole thing if you're only here for a specific envelope. I hope I didn't go too fast for this. It's very simple. I'll make sure to put like measurements on the screen, just so that way you guys, if I made a mistake, because I noticed that I was saying some wrong things, but I did correct myself. I just don't know if I did with every measurement. I will go ahead and leave them on the screen just so you could see it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope I answered, for those of you that had questions on my envelopes and stuff, the sizes, I hope I answered your questions. Please comment down below on what you guys think. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and thanks for watching.